Thousands of years ago, a powerful civilization emerged in the heart of the desert, where survival itself seemed impossible. While most of the land was covered by sand and heat, life flourished along a single river, the Nile, bringing water, movement, and order to chaos. Here, the ancient Egyptians built cities, developed laws, and created one of the most complex societies the world had ever seen. They measured time, studied the stars, and understood mathematics with astonishing precision. But what truly separates Egypt from every other ancient civilization are the monuments it left behind, massive stone structures, built with accuracy that still challenges modern engineering. The pyramids were not simple tombs. They were symbols of power, belief, and a deep connection between earth and sky. Even today, no one can say with absolute certainty how stones weighing dozens of tons were lifted, cut, and placed with such perfection. Some believe it was human determination alone. Others believe knowledge was passed down from forces greater than man. This is where history meets mystery, where science meets belief. This is the beginning of Egypt and the secrets of eternity. At the center of ancient Egyptian civilization stood the pharaoh. He was not seen as a simple ruler, but as a living god on earth, the bridge between humanity and the divine. The pharaoh controlled land, resources, and the lives of millions. His word was law, his presence absolute. Great names rose through history, leaders whose power shaped centuries, such as Khufu, the builder of the Great Pyramid, and Ramses the Great, a warrior, a strategist, and a symbol of Egypt's golden age. Statues carved in stone, temples covered in gold, and endless inscriptions were created to honor their divine status. Entire cities worked to serve the pharaoh. Farmers, builders, priests, and soldiers, all bound to a single figure of power. To obey the pharaoh was to obey the gods themselves. This belief held Egypt together for thousands of years, creating stability, order, and one of the longest-lasting civilizations in human history. Among all the monuments of ancient Egypt, none inspire more awe than the pyramids. The Great Pyramid of Giza stood as the tallest man-made structure on Earth for more than 4,000 years. Built from millions of stone blocks, some weighing over 50 tons, each placed with extraordinary precision, these structures were aligned with the stars, oriented to the cardinal directions, with accuracy that still amazes modern scientists. No written record explains exactly how the pyramids were built, leaving behind questions that remain unanswered to this day. How were massive stones transported across vast distances, lifted to great heights, and fitted together without modern tools? Beyond the pyramids, Egypt raised vast temples and sacred complexes designed to honor the gods and the power of the pharaohs. From the Sphinx, guarding the Giza Plateau, to the hidden chambers of the Valley of the Kings, ancient Egyptian architecture was not only functional, it was symbolic, a reflection of cosmic order and humanity's place within it. These monuments were built not just to last for generations, but for eternity. For the ancient Egyptians, death was not an ending, it was a transition. They believed life continued beyond the physical world, in a realm where the soul would be judged and order would be restored. This belief shaped every aspect of their society, from daily rituals to the way they prepared the dead. The journey to the afterlife was guided by sacred texts, known today as the Book of the Dead. These writings described trials, judgment, and the weighing of the heart against the feather of truth. At the center of this ritual stood Anubis, the god of mummification, guardian of the dead. To preserve the body was essential, because the soul needed a vessel to return to. Through complex processes of mummification, the Egyptians sought to defeat decay and protect the body for eternity. Some tombs were sealed in silence, others became surrounded by fear. As stories of curses began to spread, the most famous of these legends emerged after the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb. Whether myth or coincidence, these stories only deepened the mystery of Egypt. In the ancient Egyptian mind, life and death were not opposites, but parts of a single eternal cycle. Despite centuries of research, ancient Egypt still holds mysteries that modern science cannot fully explain. Hidden chambers, sealed passages, and unexplored spaces continue to be discovered beneath the pyramids. Advanced scans have revealed empty voids, suggesting that entire rooms may still lie undiscovered, deep within stone structures. The precision of construction raises even more questions, with blocks cut and aligned so accurately that even modern tools would struggle to replicate the results. Some researchers point to lost techniques, knowledge that disappeared with time, never recorded in written form. Others look to the sky, noting how pyramids appear aligned with specific stars, particularly those of the Orion constellation. According to some theories, these monuments may have served purposes beyond time, acting as gateways between Earth and the heavens. While such ideas remain controversial, they continue to challenge our understanding of the ancient world. Egypt reminds us that history is not always complete, and that the past still has stories waiting to be uncovered. Beyond pyramids and mysteries, ancient Egypt was shaped by everyday life. Along the Nile, ordinary people worked the land, guided by the rhythm of the river and the seasons. Farmers, craftsmen, traders, and builders formed the foundation of Egyptian society. Homes were simple, but life was structured, organized, and deeply connected to nature. Food was shared, music filled the air, and festivals marked important moments of the year. Children learned skills from their parents, while scribes studied writing, numbers, and administration. Religion was present in daily routines, with small rituals performed in homes and temples alike. Clothing, jewelry, and art reflected status, but also a strong sense of identity, even in ordinary moments. The Egyptians believed their lives were part of a greater cosmic order. It was this balance between the everyday and the eternal that allowed their civilization to endure for thousands of years. No civilization lasts forever, and even Egypt would eventually face decline. Internal divisions, economic strain, and changing powers slowly weakened the foundations of the ancient kingdom as foreign empires rose. Egypt found itself caught between larger forces shaping the ancient world. The final chapter of ancient Egypt is often associated with Cleopatra, the last pharaoh to rule independently. She was highly educated, politically skilled, and determined to preserve Egypt's sovereignty. But alliances with Rome brought both power and danger, as the fate of Egypt became tied to distant ambitions. Following military defeat, Egypt was absorbed into the Roman Empire, ending thousands of years of pharaonic rule. Temples fell silent, rituals faded, and the old gods slowly disappeared from public life. Yet Egypt did not vanish. Its legacy survived through knowledge, architecture, and influence that spread across civilizations. The ancient world moved forward, but Egypt remained, etched forever into human history. Today, Egypt is a country where ancient history and modern life exist side by side. Bustling cities have grown around monuments that are thousands of years old. As daily life continues in the shadow of the past, in Cairo, millions move through crowded streets, while the pyramids stand quietly nearby, unchanged by time. The Nile still flows through the heart of the country, just as it did in ancient times, connecting people, cities, and traditions. Markets, homes, and places of worship reflect a culture shaped by centuries of influence and adaptation. Tourism has brought the world to Egypt, drawing visitors from every continent, seeking to witness its ancient wonders. Yet beyond the famous landmarks, ordinary lives continue, focused on family, work, and community. Modern Egypt carries challenges, but also resilience, rooted in a history unlike any other. The past is never far away. It lives in the land, the river, and the collective memory of the people. Ancient Egypt may belong to the past, but its influence never truly disappeared. Its ideas shaped architecture, religion, and symbolism far beyond the borders of the Nile. From sacred geometry to myths of creation and the afterlife, Egypt left marks that echoed through later civilizations. Greek scholars studied Egyptian knowledge, Roman architects admired its monuments, and modern science continues to search for answers. Even today, Egypt remains a symbol of mystery, precision, and endurance. The pyramids still stand, unchanged by time, watching generations rise and fall. They remind us that human ambition, belief, and imagination can transcend centuries. In the silence of stone and sand, Egypt continues to ask questions, rather than offer simple answers. And perhaps that is its greatest legacy, a civilization that refuses to be fully understood. Standing before the monuments of ancient Egypt, one cannot help but feel small. These stones were placed by hands long gone, yet they continue to speak across time. They speak of belief, of ambition, and of a desire to reach beyond human limits. Civilizations have risen and fallen. Empires have disappeared, but Egypt remains, not as a memory, but as a presence etched into the landscape of human history. The answers to many questions may never be found, and perhaps they were never meant to be. Some mysteries lose their power once solved, but Egypt gains strength through the unknown. In silence, the desert listens. The river flows, and the pyramids endure. Time moves forward, yet Egypt stands still, a reminder that some stories are not meant to end, but to echo forever. Thousands of years have passed, yet Egypt continues to capture the human imagination. In an age of technology and instant answers, its unanswered questions feel even more powerful. Modern science can build higher, faster, and stronger, but it still struggles to explain how ancient Egypt achieved such precision. Perhaps Egypt reminds us that progress is not always linear, and that knowledge can be lost as easily as it is gained. The civilization of the Nile understood balance between nature and humanity, between life and death, between order and chaos. That balance is something the modern world continues to search for. Egypt does not demand belief. It invites reflection, and in doing so, it connects ancient minds with modern ones across time, culture, and belief. This timeless connection may be the reason Egypt never truly fades. Ancient Egypt is more than history. It is a reminder of humanity's desire to endure. Through stone, through belief, and through silence, its story continues. Long after empires fade, Egypt remains a civilization beyond time.